Chicken
Mission.
mission this morning, and we're just gonna tell y'all everything about chickens.
Well, I need to. The first thing you got to do is figure out what you're going to feed these chickens, and hopefully you can supplement them. But if you're going to let these chickens out, but don't go into it blind. Don't do your research. Huh?
Well, let's go put these down, and because my bucket's about full, and we'll go refill it in the other chicken pen.
Yeah, it's Sunday morning, the 21st. It was cold last night, but it's not too bad now. It got down to what, 21, Miss KK?
Yep.
Well, I came out here and did all the chores already. But I was talking to Miss KK last night. I said we need to do a little quick video on raising chickens, and more importantly, maybe chickens for eggs. I don't know. The thing is, anybody that's serious about homesteading or prepping, they're probably going to consider raising chickens for meat and for eggs. And I think that's probably a good idea. There's some people that never raised chickens, and they might have a little misconception about some of it. So we want to try to help some of y'all to clear a little bit of that up, so that you don't start raising chickens thinking something's going to happen one way and then it don't, just to help prepare you for that. So me and Miss KK will go pick the eggs and maybe talk to you a little bit about that, because that's the only thing I didn't do for the animals yet this morning. There's some old corn I poured out of a barrel. The bottom of the barrel, it's got some mixed diatomaceous earth and stuff in it. The chickens are full right now, but
just to keep your barrels clean.
Yeah.
You want to go through your barrels sometimes when you get down to the bottom of them, especially. There's sometimes bugs will get into them, and you don't want to just keep adding the feed right on top of that. You want to empty out those barrels and keep them clean before you add your next new feed into them.
Yeah, that diatomaceous earth, it'll kill those corn weevils and stuff that get in your corn. It keeps all them weevils out. But I noticed at the bottom I had a bunch of dead weevils because over time they fell to the bottom. They shifted down.
Yeah, they still got in. They died, but they were in there. So they need to come out, and the barrel needs to be cleaned.
But what I want to tell people that's considering raising chickens, I think that's an awesome thing to do, because you got meat that chickens can provide awesome meat. It's some of the best meat in the world to me, when you raise your own chickens, and you can get eggs. But I think there's a misconception out there for people that's never done it, that a lot of people, because I know a few people that's done this, they started raising chickens and they quit because it didn't work out the way they wanted to. So what it is, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people think they're going to get a little flock of chickens and they're going to go pick eggs every day and they're going to have free eggs. Well, come on, Mom, and I'll pick these eggs and keep talking. Watch this. But the thing is, I know some of you probably heard the old saying, you can't get blood out of a turnip. These things are nutritious, and they pack a lot of good food, a lot of good fat, protein. I know the Food and Drug Administration will probably tell you it ain't too good for you, but
they'll probably tell you it's full of cholesterol.
Yeah,
bad cholesterol.
But you know what I done figured out, and I believe Miss KK agrees with me. If the FDA and some of these other alphabet soup agencies tell you something's good for you, it's probably bad. And if they tell you it's bad for you, it's probably good. That's what I believe. You know how they used to tell us milk was good for you, then they told us it was bad for you, and then
oh yeah, same thing with coffee and butter, and you probably could name all kind of things that they did that to us with.
So going back to getting blood out of a turnip, these things pack a lot of good stuff, but you only going to get out of these chickens what you feed them, and that's what I want you to. That's kind of the focus of what my little discussion is today. If you get some chickens, you never done it before, and you put them in a nice little pen, and you're going to have to feed them to get eggs, and you're not going to get a whole lot of eggs, or you're not going to get any eggs if you don't feed them the right stuff. And I'm not here to tell you right now exactly what you have to feed them, because that can be a lot of different things. But you have to realize that if you got these chickens and you put them in a pen and you don't have a lot of good feed for them, you're not going to get any eggs.
Right.
I mean, these things take a lot of, I mean, you got to have something to make the shell with, you know.
Yeah, it takes.
So the chickens have to have a lot of good nourishment is what I'm saying. And if you're not set up, let me backtrack a little bit. If you got access to plenty good feed for them, that's all fine and dandy. You know, you can raise your chicken meat and get plenty of eggs. But I just want you to think that depending on where you live, you're gonna probably need some free range land for them to be able to produce good chickens and good eggs. Because if you got plenty feed to do it, that's all fine and dandy. But if you're thinking for the future, what if you can't get feed? You know, you're gonna want to be able to have to be able to let them out like we do and free range them, because it's gonna be hard to get eggs out of chickens if you don't have some good nourishment for them, some good nutrition for them. I guess I'm not wording that right, Mama. You want me to hold the camera and maybe you can explain it better than me?
If you're gonna do the feed, that's fine. If you have a lot of feed, go on ahead and pour it to them, and you're gonna have all the eggs that you want probably. But if you don't want to buy all that feed, if you just spending as much on feed as you would on eggs and chickens, then you're defeating the purpose.
That's what I wanted to say, Mama. I guess because you're not gonna get free eggs. In other words,
no, you're not gonna get free eggs.
Right. You're gonna have to feed them with something. And so if you don't have a place where you can let them out, where they can do free ranging, you know, to supplement the little feed that because we don't feed ours a whole bunch because we are able to supplement them. But
and not only are we supplementing them by letting them free range, we're also supplementing them by bringing stuff to them from other parts of the property, like the mustard greens and the turnip greens and turnips that are in excess. Those are brought out of the garden every single day. You see that? That's some leftovers from this morning. But every day this is brought here to supplement them. Of course, we're not going to let them in the garden to eat it, so the garden has to be fenced off. So you got to do some different preparations. It's not just an easy thing, oh, I'm going to throw some chickens in the pen and I'm going to have free eggs. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
There's other good things that you can supplement them with too that we found. One of the things is banana trees. They love the leaves off of banana trees, and it'll make them lay like crazy. Well, right now, banana trees are frozen. You can't use that. So that's why we're doing the turnip greens, the mustard greens, and the turnips. So you can break stuff off from different parts of your property or forage things to bring to them. All that does take effort. So it's not a lazy man's
right. That
venture.
That's what I was kind of worried about. People, you know, people that never did it, that going into it thinking that they're going to have a good supplement for them because, you know, for their food, for, you know, eggs and chicken meat. But I just I got to thinking, you know, I don't want people to go into this thinking they're going to get some free stuff, because it's not going to be free that easy. If you don't have yard and you don't have a place to let them out in free range, it's going to cost you a lot of feed, and that's probably going to cost you for the amount of eggs you get. It's probably going to cost you more per egg to feed them than it would if you go buy eggs that was commercially done. But the good thing about it, if you can't afford plenty of feed and you don't have supplemental stuff and you don't have land to let them out in, at least in the meantime, if all you can do is buy feed, you raising some healthy meat and some healthy eggs, because I promise you, it's a lot more healthier than that commercially grown chicken meat and chicken eggs, because you know all the chemicals and stuff they put in all that feed.
And the confined areas that they're raised in, the conditions that they're raised in also has a lot to do with it. So I mean, you can break a yard egg on side of a store egg, and it's very obvious the difference, just that. Yeah.
The reason we got another chicken pen is just that we got different stages of chickens we was raising, and they done learned how to roost at different places. it's kind of like separating your pastures for cows and horses and stuff. We give them different things to eat. We can close one pasture off or one pen off and let the grass grow. But anyway, that's what this little video was going to be about.
Okay, so I have some cartons here. You want to show the cartons? And what we do is our family brings us cartons. Everybody that we know that we bring eggs to saves their cartons, because sometimes they do go out and buy eggs also. And then when we bring them eggs, they save the cartons that we bring them to them in. So they're constantly saving cartons. Their friends save cartons. And that's where we get our cartons from. We have never went and bought cartons from Tractor Supply or any other place. So the cartons are coming in constantly, and we just keep them right up here and fill them up as we pick the eggs.
And we eat them as we need them, and we give them away.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of right now for this time of year. Many people are not picking this many eggs this time of year.
Well,
but like I said, we are supplementing them with a lot of stuff. And a lot of times just the green stuff that you give them makes them lay more.
I think you're right, Miss KK. I believe we figured out that if you can have some kind of supplemental greens, grass, like ryegrass is good, banana leaves, turnip greens, all those things. I'm sorry, I had Miss KK out of frame. All those things, those greens, they really make
a big difference. Before we figured out this supplementing thing, what I did notice was our chickens would lay like crazy in the spring when the clover would come out. Middle of summer, when the clover had died down and there wasn't a lot of good tender green for them, and we was keeping our chickens pinned up sometime because the chicken hawks was giving us so much trouble at times. I would go and pick those banana leaves I was telling you about, and I would put them in the pen because I wanted them to have something green, and I didn't want to go out there and cut the grass with scissors. I wanted to have a bunch of green to give them easily at one time, and you just snap a couple of those big 5-foot banana leaves and throw them in there, and those chickens have a lot of green to eat like that. And I noticed when I started doing that their egg production picked up also in the middle of summer, which was a time when they normally wasn't laying that much either. And in the wintertime, they usually don't lay that much, but since we've been giving them these greens, they are laying like crazy. I mean, look at all these eggs on this cabinet right here. All of these are full. These, I have to get some cartons in here, and the ice box also is full of eggs. And you see some stuff from the garden there, but we don't need to talk about that. That's just stuff we pick before the freeze.
I recommend being able to let your chickens out free range them, but that's what else you got to think about. If you're going to let your chickens out, man, you got to start thinking about the
predators.
The predators. It's hard, people. I don't want you to go into raising chickens and thinking that it's something easy. It's worth it though. I'm telling you, it's worth it. But the hawks, well, we call them chicken hawks,
because they give our chickens more trouble than anything that we've noticed that they do.
So you shut your chickens up at night, but you leave them out during the day. You let them out so they can free range. And the chicken hawks, red-tailed hawks, they run you crazy. And if you don't shut them up at night, the owls will get them.
Or the foxes or coyotes.
Foxes, coyotes,
even
minks,
dogs. It might be the neighbor's dog. It might be your dog.
Right.
So that's a challenge too, is to condition your dogs to not chase your chickens.
That's right. Raccoons, man, once a raccoon learns to get in your pen, you're going to have to get rid of him because he'll wipe you out, or a mink.
Or a skunk.
We've had all these problems. So I just want y'all to know, to us, it's worth it. To real homesteaders and preppers, it's worth it. But it's not free eggs, and
it's not for everybody.
And it's not for everybody. So don't, in other words, do your research before you get, if you're going to homestead and prep, by all means, I recommend, please get chickens. That's the thing. They're going to lay wherever they want to. And I didn't mean them to lay right there.
Is there someplace else in here?
Here's some nests that are made out of some milk crates.
This is where he intended for them to lay.
And they do, but they change up. They'll change up on you. there's some. I don't know if this is coming in frame good, but there's some more
There's
nests.
some eggs in
Yeah.
here.
That's another thing that'll happen too, Mama. I picked a bunch of old eggs that got ruined, I guess you call it, because there was a hen that was wanting to set. So I left a bunch of eggs. There's nothing in there, Mama.
There's one.
It's an old one that I left what I call
For
a
a
nest
nest
egg
egg.
that kind of
What about
encourages
that
chickens
one?
to lay. Oh, don't worry about that. I'll get it. That's an old one I need to pick up.
Okay.
But what I was saying is another thing that'll happen is that you might let a chicken set in the nest so that she can set and have babies, hatch babies. But sometimes that chicken will abandon that nest, and then you'll get other chickens laid in it. And you won't know which one's the fresh eggs, and you won't know what's what. So I had to throw away a bunch of eggs this morning because a chicken abandoned the nest. It's just little things like that you got to keep up with. I just seen too many people say, man, I'm gonna have me a pretty little flock of chickens, and I'm gonna pick free eggs, and we'll have chicken. We can kill a chicken every once in a while and have meat. It's not as easy. It's not hard, but it's not as easy as it sounds, and there's a lot more to it than that. You got to feed them good. You're gonna deal with messy stuff with the yard and the eggs and the picking, and you're gonna have to fight off varmints and predators. So I just want everybody, don't get discouraged. I'm not trying to discourage you.
Yeah, it's not that horrible. It really
I just
isn't.
want you to know.
But those things are part of the equation.
Right.
And I mean, you learn it. You learn it just like anything else. You learn it and it can be fine. What I was going to say is another good thing about raising the chickens is if you were to not have electricity, say, and you wanted meat, that would be a wonderful way to have meat. You could kill a chicken and you could eat that chicken. Between you and your family, y'all could eat that whole chicken in one day. You wouldn't have to worry about it spoiling or putting it up or freezing sections of it. Whereas if you're raising a big animal like a cow or something like that, and you wanted to butcher that, you would need to be a little more creative in how you are going to put that food away and preserve it. So that's something else to think about with chickens.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing that you can just go out and get that chicken, and you'll have your protein, and you don't have to worry about preserving it. You can eat it all in one day.
That's a awesome point I wanted to bring out that I forgot. I have a hard time articulating stuff. I got all kind of stuff in here I want to bring out and tell y'all, and it comes out all jumbled. But Miss KK, she does a good job articulating. I think we talked about that before. Where one's weak, the other's strong. Boy, I need Miss KK sometime. I look at her to ask her what I'm supposed to say. I don't know. But anyway.
So let's look in that bucket and see what we got out of these.
Got a few feathers, but see, the hen must have busted an egg somewhere along the line. But
that happens.
It happens.
Sometimes you'll get a hen that will cause you some trouble because she'll get in that nest sometimes and start breaking your eggs and eating them. Now that don't happen all the time, but every now and then it is something that will occur.
But you know what I most of this is my opinion, y'all. But like I make fun of that. It's like a narcissist. That's my opinion, and everybody's entitled to it. but I think a lot of times when a chicken does that, hens will start eating. Well, they learn bad habits, but I think a lot of times it might be because they're missing a little bit of some kind of nutrition or something, that they need. But I know that from experience, I learned that when a hen starts doing that, if you're not feeding them good, she ain't gonna quit. I've had them go from nest to nest and break them eggs and eat everything out of the shell.
Yep.
I got
now here you see we got this little gate here that we close at night, but during the day he just puts this little strap up, and what that does, it keeps the horses out of here from getting into this pen that we don't want them in. Now the horses are over here. We're just coming out of a very cold spell, and they still have their little blankets on them. It's actually still about probably 28 degrees out here right now. So they still have their little blankets on them. Look at them, how pretty. That's Josh's horse that Errol's petting. And that's Jada's horse that he's petting now. Well, I guess she didn't want to be petted this morning. But that's them. And they
Her.
stick together.
They both hers.
I said them.
Oh, I thought you said him. I can't hear either, y'all. And there's
They best friends. They stick together just like Josh and Jada does. That's Cece and what's this one's name?
Shorty.
And this is Shorty. You can tell by how short she is.
Yeah, she.
That's her name.
and over here in the corner is BJ. Josh and Jada's one of their chickens is named Brady. I don't even remember why. I think it's Brady, huh?
Yeah, Brady Jr.
No,
something.
their chicken's named Brady.
Their chicken's name is Brady, and then we got the son off of it, and it's we call it BJ for Brady Jr.
And that's his little batch of hens. He stays in that little chicken house that we just picked these eggs in.
Yeah.
And he assembled all them for himself. That's all his little girlfriends.
Yep, that's his harem.
Yeah. He's a pretty big chicken. He's a fine rooster.
Look at him. He got a nice large crew there, actually.
That's the BJ Strut.
Yep, he's pretty.
Well, anyway, don't get scared. Don't get scared to raise these chickens. We just didn't want, if you never did it, we just wanted you to think about some things. You can work it all out. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
Watch these homestead channels. These people that teach you what to do. Y'all know what to do. If you got questions about something, research it. And y'all have fun. It's gonna work. Raise them chickens, pick them eggs. It's one of the best things you can do for homesteading and prepping, I believe. But I just didn't. I didn't want you to go in there thinking it was gonna be. I didn't want you to go in there with any misconceptions about it. But don't be scared, y'all. Do it.
And also, I want to show y'all something that we do to deter the hawks. Also, is I don't know if you can see these. But we got these strings tied up, these ribbons tied up over this pen. And what it does is it scares the hawks. They don't want to fly down in that for fear of getting caught and not being able to get away real quick.
Right.
So they this helps tremendously over an open pen. They can range inside of this pen and not have to worry about the hawks.
I don't remember where I learned that, but it positively works. And
it doesn't take much effort, and it's very cheap.
I call it the redneck hawk deterrent. But it works. It ain't pretty, like I always say. It ain't pretty, but it works.
And you have to refresh your strings from time to time because the weather does take a toll on them. But it's really not that big of a deal to go in and, just pick the old strings up and put you some new ones out. So we're going to put these eggs up now. During all that freezing weather, we had some eggs that froze on us, and just like a water pipe will, the water will expand and bust the pipe. The same thing happened with our eggs that we didn't pick on time that froze. They expanded inside the shell and cracked the shell.
So, me and Miss KK is gonna go work on these nests a little bit. We're gonna put some pine shavings in there.
Okay, these nests are needing some refreshing. We're going to take a look in them and see what exactly we need to do to them. We might need to clean them out a little bit. So let's look and see that. Errol, we didn't even clean them out yet, baby.
Oh,
hold on.
I don't think it needs it.
Okay, these actually look all right. I think they're okay. He's just going to add some...
Look here, Mama. It's been 5 minutes. What you think? Since we picked them eggs, we done got another.
Yeah. Well, golly, y'all need to get up, don't y'all think?
Y'all see this?
Must be some lazy chickens.
Nah, they done ate and got full and got back on the roof. And it's it ain't but 8:30. Look at there.
She ain't too happy about that, huh? She don't want to be bothered right now.
I'll tell you what else you get out of these chickens. If you raise them, you don't just get meat and eggs. Boy, you get some good stuff.
Some
for the garden.
fertilizer. Yeah, we need to clean that off. That's getting built up.
Oh,
too
it's getting
much.
bad. But
So that needs to come off too. I used to have a little hole in here I would keep and I would scrape that off, but I don't know where that
We'll
thing
find it.
went to.
I think it broke. But see, I'd have all that clean. But the problem is, Miss KK got me doing so much work. I ain't got time to clean all this.
Oh yeah, you got time.
Oh no, my back hurts.
Oh.
She said I use that for the excuse sometimes. Really bad, Mama.
Basically, you just want to put some of these fresh wood chips into each nest from time to time. You don't want to just leave it bare. You could, but it's better. It keeps it cleaner, and it also helps keep down any bad insects and all that kind of stuff. You do have to do a little hen house cleaning from time to time.
This one's overdue.
This one's overdue, but it's not terrible. We do need to get into it though. Clean it up some.
But I wanted to remind, while I was thinking about it, I don't know where you're gonna put that in this video, but I wanted to remind everybody, if the Heavenly Father's willing, the next video we're gonna do, I think, probably gonna work on it tomorrow, but it takes us a little while to get all that downloaded. But we're gonna, because after today, the whole week got a forecast of rain from
Yeah, we
70, 80, 90% day and night, like Monday through Friday. So we won't be able to do a whole lot outside. So what we're gonna try to make a video on making hog head cheese without the hog and without the head. It's a little hint. We're gonna make it with deer meat. It's gonna make the best sandwiches you ever seen, unless we mess it all up. But anyway, we'll get talk with y'all on that video. But that's y'all tune in. We're gonna try to do that. I think y'all gonna like it. Hog head cheese without the hog and without the head.
There goes Mr. E putting his little bucket up. You gotta try to keep your stuff where it belongs. It's not always the easiest thing to do when you got 28 irons in the fire.
Hey, y'all got some more of them yard eggs?
Is that it?
Yeah, you like that? That's good. Am I doing this right, Mama?
Can you see yourself?
Yeah, I see
Then
myself.
that's it. I sure had a bunch of fun with y'all today, and I can't wait till our next adventure. So remember, until then, you can't go wrong doing what's right.